President Trump is going after the Senate Intelligence Committee over its investigation into possible collusion between Russia and his campaign committee. Leaders say they have not determined whether Russia acted to try and sway the 2016 election. White House correspondent Mark Irons reports. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Lauren. Whether he calls it fake news or a witch hunt, we've seen the president vent his frustrations with this investigation since it began. Now the president says the committee needs to shift its focus.
The president logging another complaint in the Twitter file this morning. Why isn't the Senate Intel Committee looking into the fake news networks in our country to see why so much of our news is just made up, fake? White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders echoes her boss's frustration.
A lot of times false narratives create a bad environment, certainly aren't helpful to the American people, and you have a responsibility to provide and report fair and accurate details.
Thank you for being here.
Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman, Republican Senator Richard Burr, says the investigation will consider the president's concerns.
Listen, I think that the Intelligence Committee is in the process of developing the facts surrounding Russian meddling. If in fact we find that news organizations have not covered it factually, I think you'll see that in our report.
So far, the Senate Intelligence Committee has interviewed over 100 witnesses and scanned more than 100,000 pages of documents. The committee confirms the election vote count was not altered by the Russian government, but it leaves no doubt of a Russian effort to meddle in U.S. politics. And it's still investigating possible collusion between Russia and the Trump campaign.
So you saw ads.
House Democrat Adam Schiff says one concern is Russian-backed campaign ads on social media sites.
RT, the Russia propaganda arm, advertised on Twitter. Now, almost the entire set of ads that I've seen, and I'm told it's a representative sample, those were all anti-Clinton ads.
Schiff says the question is this: were the Russians able to target ads in certain battleground states by themselves or with help?
The Senate Intel Committee has yet to interview some witnesses related to the Trump campaign in a June 2016 meeting that Jared Kushner, former campaign manager Paul Manafort, and the president's own son, Donald Trump Jr., held with Russians. The committee wants to interview Trump Jr. and everyone else involved with that meeting. Lauren.
Correspondent Mark Irons at the White House. Thank you, Mark.